What's up, YouTube? This is June Sarek, dude. I'm at my house again, working on another project, the project DAP EK Hatch. And so I'm just trying to reinstall the engine and, just trying to do things the right way. Let me take a step back. First of all, sorry for not making a video lately. Life, life is going on, and there's just nothing that I felt was really worthy of making a video, like an educational style video back to my roots. I didn't want to make another junkyard video or anything like that. But so this video is going to be on the injectors. I have this kit here from Injector Shop. Got it from eBay. Sorry about that. eBay was like 20 bucks. Just to, it has new filters, new O-rings, spacers. So we'll get these ones cleaned up. I'm not exactly sure what this cap here is called. I'm gonna have to look it up real quick. All right, so the cap is called a pintle cap, P-I-N-T-L-E, pintle cap. So this set, as you see, I'll clean it up. And hopefully everything doesn't go flying around. We have the spacers that go into the intake manifold here. So for those spacers, we have 4 pintle caps. 4 of the mesh filters. And these 4, I haven't figured out where those go, but then we have 4 of the O-rings and 4 of these other spacers that go on top of the injector. So make sure you have all the components that you need. I think if anything, these spacers may possibly go internally, but I'm not opening up these injectors. That's above my pay grade. First thing we're going to do is just remove the injectors from the fuel rail. And boom, losing stuff. So we got our injectors removed from the fuel rail. Make sure there's no particles or anything in your fuel rail. That would be bad. Set that to the side. And our injectors we have here. So some of our filters just kind of disintegrated, so we're going to have to remove whatever debris is left inside of the filter. So use a small needle nose or some tweezers or even a little pick. Just be careful and double check you got everything out of there. So then also we want to remove the pintle caps, which some of them are already broken, so I think they're all broken. They're all chipped, so I'm just going to use maybe some channel locks and just try to work them out slowly. But you want to be careful you don't damage this little needle on the top, most importantly. Otherwise that'll be bad. So just use a lot of care when removing the pintle caps. Alright, so I'm going to remove this pintle cap with these channel locks, but just, like I said, do it at your own risk. And just go slowly and be gentle. And then this one actually came off in one piece. The other one disintegrated. So that was a good thing. And again, make sure you don't touch that, damage your little spray nozzle there. Alright, so we got that, and then we want to remove our mesh strainer filters. And then you're going to remove the O-rings and grab a little pick. Alright, got my pick here. I just, again, remove that guy and then remove the other spacer there. So then you have your injector stripped for the most part. So we'll just do the same thing to the other 3, and then we'll start cleaning. And then just double check you have all the pinto cap out of the little groove there. You may have to go through, and looks like it's still all in there. Try to just scrape it out and just break it into pieces until it disintegrates pretty much. And there's supposed to be a little groove in there for the new pinto cap to just slide in. Just wanted to show you an example of what's going on with the pinto cap. This little old piece here was in the groove, so you need to remove it. And then let's see if we can zoom in here. And let's see, right in that groove there, you should have that groove so the new pinto cap can go on. All right, so then the next step will be cleaning it. Make sure you have a clean area, and then also make sure to, whenever you clean them, nothing goes into the bottom port there. Otherwise, you're gonna have to put them in a cleaning machine, and then I forgot what that's called. It's a sonic cleaning to make sure everything is out. So you spray. You can use carburetor cleaner or brake cleaner. Just using some carburetor cleaner, and then just use like a little bristle, soft bristle. Like I said, make sure nothing goes into the bottom there. Otherwise, you'll have to do the sonic cleaning and all that stuff, which isn't a bad idea if you want your engine performing peak performance. Wear gloves. You don't want your skin, soaking all the chemicals in your skin. Okay, so the first thing I always like to start with is the pinto cap to, number 1, protect the nozzle there, and number 2, is it's kind of the harder, the more, everything else just slides right on, or slides in. The screen, the O-ring, the other spacer, and then the other spacer that goes onto the intake manifold goes here. So start with the pinto cap first. What I'm going to do is warm it up a little bit with some heat, and then just push it into place, because right now it's pretty hard. One time I was trying to lightly tap it with like a hammer or something, and the cap exploded, and then I could potentially damage the nozzle there. So use a heat gun, warm it up, and then press it into place. Another thing to note is that this kit is good from like 1980 to like 2000 Hondas. So the other spacer that we have in there, potentially for a different Honda. But yeah, so what did I do? I did the engine on the injectors on that the other day. It was kind of like practice and learning. And that's like a 1989 or 1990 Integra intake manifold. All right, so I got the heat gun here. Have my injector. Just remember, wear some gloves. They can get pretty hot. You want to burn yourself. And then it's not going to hurt the injector to get a little bit of heat. I got it on low. And just keep rotating it like a rotisserie chicken. The heat's not going to hurt it because it's going to be hot in the engine. Think about it. A little bit of heat there. Keep rotating it. for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Get it warmed up. And then, boom, pop it into place. And it just goes right into that groove. And that's it. Okay, so then you're gonna get your kit here and then put the spacer on. Everything's clean. Got that pinto cap on, the spacer there, and grab your O-ring. Slide that bad boy on, and then get your strainer. And you may have to get something soft and kind of tap it in slightly, gently, or just try to press it in. If you got a good grip, got good hand strength, you can press that in there. And it'll just kind of seat right on the top. Make sure it's even. So you got that, and then when you go to insert your injector, make sure you put a little WD-40 on the tip there. You want to make sure that you lube up the O-ring. If you don't, you're gonna rip it. Lube it up a little bit and put it back into your. Make sure the orientation is correct. Just slides right back in. Boom, and there you go. So we'll do all the other ones and get it back in the car. Okay, so make sure that if you're using the thinner or the thicker spacers, and then of course clean up your area here. So thicker spacers, get them all in there. Boom. And sit pretty flush at the end there. And then you're gonna grab your fuel rail, note orientation. Look at that bad boy. Everything's looking all clean. Functions all clean. Got that fuel pressure regulator on this side. And just be careful because the injector could fall out, potentially. You don't want them falling out all over the place. And guided everything up. Line everything up. Everything's looking pretty lined up here. Oh, covered up my camera there. Not used to filming that way. And just align our hose. What's going on there? The injector's heating on that side. Injector heating on this side. Okay. And you're gonna push it in just a little bit. Make sure it just gets in there and everything's kind of snuggish. And put your hardware on and tighten it up. And then I'll have to get my let's see, our injector's plug should be facing upwards. Make sure you orient those correctly. And then put your hardware started there. Have to find one more nut and I'll tighten that all down and we'll be good to go from this, from the injectors. Alright, got the hardware tightened down and then get our hoses hooked up here. Fuel pressure regulator. This one's a little long, I'm gonna have to cut it some, but just to cover up the hole. Put that there and then get the fuel line hooked up over there next. All right, peeps, that's it for me for this video. I hope it was educational, informative, somewhat. If it was, leave a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel and supporting me, and hope everybody's doing all right out there. And yeah, get your priorities straight, take care of yourself, stay true to yourself, and keep the EKs, EFs, EGs, all the old school Hondas on the road. Peace.